Cause it's time to move on now. It's time for Burger Blues.
Woo! Oh my.
Was that an orgasm or a bug being squashed? I'm not
There's a
sure.
bug
The
being
answer to that
squashed.
question is yes, Rod.
The answer is yes.
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 The answer
Oh,
is
yes, Daddy.
yes. What the fuck is up, you two beautiful fucks?
Oh, you know, living La Viva Loca.
Living la vida loca.
What is going on with us right now? It has been
Drugs.
late 90s,
It
early
is.
2000s music coming out of
It's
our faces.
4:20 where I am.
Ooh.
It is the
Blaze it,
420th.
I wish. I don't know. I'm tired. It's warm.
It is warm. It's warm here too. Yep.
Dude, they don't have Katie and Zeke don't have like AC. They have like little split units in the wall, which help a lot, but it still gets like kind of muggy in this house. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then I have a poodle
Mm.
on my feet. And
Which poodle? Zelda?
No, Trick.
Trick is the one that you're watching, right?
Trick and Lilith are the two I'm watching.
Oh, so you're
and-
watching two poodles and a Zelda.
Yep.
So 3.
So Zelda's over there.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Aww.
just on the floor.
We
Just
had.
passed.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just said just passed out. That's all.
Well, you had mentioned humidity inside. It's because we don't have AC. It's been kind of warm again this week. It hasn't been in the 90s, thank goodness, but it's been kind of warm. So I've just
Yeah.
been leaving the windows open, but only a few of them open because of the style of the house. Anyway, every night this week we've had a really massive storm to the point that it's like shaking the windows and like the thunder and the lightning and it's great. But like if I don't close the windows or if I leave one or two open, then all the rain blows in, which is wild because the windows are the ones that open like this. So the rain shouldn't be able to get in, but it's so
Mm.
violent. It's like blowing sideways and into the
Yes.
window. And
Lovely.
last night was so humid. We had a horrible storm again. And then this morning I woke up and we had heat lightning and it was so pretty. And I took videos of it. It was beautiful. But it's been cooler today.
Lucky. It's
Yeah.
100 degrees in Kansas City.
Oh, fuck that. It's going to be in the 70s next week, like low 70s.
Yeah. It's 100 degrees where I'm at right now.
I hate
Feels
that.
like it's 108 because of the
I
humidity.
hate that.
Brian's balls are thoroughly stuck to his legs.
Yes.
And they're
they
like,
are.
and since he's so old, they're almost under his knees already. So like,
They are. Yeah. With the extra humidity, they stretch a little more. So yeah.
it's
Is
like
that how that works?
it's
As
Yeah,
the older you get, yes, the longer your nuts get.
Well, I
They-
mean, does the humidity make it stick to your nuts or stick
Yes.
to your legs?
yes.
That's called swamp ass.
Ah, okay.
Your balls get sweaty, and then your balls are like
yeah.
you know those
And on
like
a really, really, really bad day, the left nut gets stuck to the right thigh, and vice versa.
and then you sit on your balls on
It
accident.
can happen, yeah. Yeah, it's a thing.
You know those
It's a
little
thing.
like those
Consider
hand,
yourself lucky, kid.
you know those little hand things you got like as a kid that like that were
The
like kind
sticky
of like
hands?
slimy, and you
I
would like
love
throw
those
them at the
things.
wall,
Yeah.
and like that's what your balls do. They
That's
just
what your
go.
nuts do, yeah.
So you grab them and just throw them at the wall. That's weird.
But you have to be
I
at
don't-
least 70 because by 70 you should have roughly a foot of testicle like lining.
Lining.
of nut bag, if you will. Like the
Gravity-
like I said, the older you get, the longer the bag gets.
It's just like titties,
When you
Ken.
sit down
was gonna
and-
say,
and
like
you're
boobies.
80, your nuts
Yeah.
get 7 seconds extra rest. Because they sit first. 100%.
That's funny.
Kind of gross, really.
Oh,
No, that's funny.
man, Brian was a brave man.
I
and,
was a brave man. I went and saw The Crow.
I saw the best TikTok where somebody was like, I went to see The Crow for the plot, and then it's just all these like incredibly hot images
Yep, Ken
of
sent it to me, and it's
oh
just Skarsgård being hot.
Yeah.
Yep.
oh.
He is a
How
hot
was
man.
it?
Dude,
It's honestly not bad. It's not good either though. That's the problem is it's incredibly generic. It's
Mhm.
exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's a generic action movie. There are good things. Obvious Bill Skarsgård's great.
Yep.
And he really is good in this role. He's giving everything he's got. And he is nothing if not a professional. The problem is they keep letting Rupert Sanders direct movies, and they need to shut that shit the fuck down. He's a fucking horrible filmmaker.
dude, I saw
He
it had made.
directed that god awful Snow White and the Huntsman movie. All right, and then he directed what the fuck else did he direct? I just read it, and I was so surprised that the man is
Well, so he was the one that fucked Kristen Stewart that got
yeah,
got all the-
the coolest thing
yeah,
he's done is in his yeah, he directed that shitty Ghost in the Shell movie.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell, The
Oh, that guy
Crow, Foundation, Pied Piper, Greatness Awaits, Snow White
He
and the
has
Huntsman.
done nothing with these big IPs that he's gotten.
There's nothing. Yeah, there's not a lot. I mean,
he
I don't have any
made-
room to talk because I'm not out here directing movies. But like,
Well, right, but look, that doesn't mean that we can't be critical of what the fucking guy has done. He
Yeah.
has had 3 massive IPs handed to him. Okay, so he had the Snow White IP, which is obviously a big IP. You know, it's fucking Snow White. Okay,
Yep.
and then you got Ghost in the Shell, arguably one of the greatest anime ever fucking made. And then you've got The Crow, one of 90s most cherished, action love stories, because that's what it is, fucking love story.
Mm.
And one of the greatest comic book characters ever. And he has done nothing with all 3 of them, like nothing of a note at all. And like I said, the most coolest thing he can claim fame to is in his career is he banged Kristen Stewart and stole her from fucking Robert Pattinson. Good for you, Mr. Sanders. He needs to stop. He just needs to stop making movies. He's a fucking terrible filmmaker. But like I said, Bill Skarsgård gives it all in the movie, and he's honestly really good. He actually genuinely is. He's the best thing in the movie. And I'm sure that's not surprising to anybody that's seen him work because he's a fantastic actor. But it is not awful. It's not an awful movie. It's just very average.
I hear though that like the movie is thoroughly one of the worst paced films in a while. Like
he's not a good filmmaker.
Yeah,
he's not a good filmmaker.
And I hear it's like 3/4 of the film there's no action. It's like the Crow stuff is the last half an hour of the movie, which is like what? Because if you go watch the original, they're like the opening scenes where he's not the Crow is about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like where they do all the setup.
Yeah,
it's
just
like
super quick exposition.
Yeah. And so you wasted it on this, like all I heard was like it was a meth head love story that no one believes is a love story because the actress, the female is so bad, and that like there's
SKA Twigs.
Yeah.
I've never heard of her. Honestly, she's fine.
She's a British pop star or something like that.
She's
That's where
fine.
Yeah.
She's honestly fine in the movie.
Yeah, that's not what I heard that she was terrible. But
I went in as open minded as I could.
Yeah.
I think it's getting a lot of excessive hate.
Oh yeah,
but
because of the
I will
original.
not say it's good. It's just a very average movie. It is nothing special.
It sounds forgettable, which is like
that is the problem. That's the same problem that The Exorcist Believer suffered from.
Dude.
Because that movie is honestly not awful. It's just not good. It's just so very average.
I think of forgettable. I think of like Frozen Empire, the new Ghostbusters movie this year. That movie was forgettable. It's just
that's a fair comparison, yeah. Because I thought Frozen Empire was okay. It wasn't great, but
it's
but
not
you're right.
good. It's not bad. It's just that's the problem. Like, I would rather have a terrible movie that I have fun watching than because forgettable. How adjacent? This is for you guys. How adjacent is forgettable to boring? Because they're pretty.
Agreed.
They're pretty close.
Agreed. I would actually rather have made a movie so bad that it's awesome, because then you have an awesomely bad movie like
Yep.
Cobra, which is
Yep.
what we should fucking watch next week.
Nobody wants to watch Cobra on Murder Moose.
Yes, they do.
No.
I'm telling you, it's got slashers in it. Okay, it's a
Ugh.
slasher. It's a slasher police procedural. If we could watch fucking Long Legs, we we could watch Cobra.
I mean,
Can I
is
just-
Nicolas Cage in it looking creepy? Because if not, then
I'm
no.
just gonna lie to you and say yes.
Okay,
Can-
then let's
Can I
watch Cobra.
There's so much I need to throw at you. My ADHD brain is going to fucking explode.
Go, King,
okay?
go.
So, speaking of the director of The Crow from this year, what's his face? Rupert Sanders.
Yeah.
Okay, so FKA Twigs, who is in that movie, did you know that she and Robert Pattinson were dating for 3 years?
In 3
And-
months, we're gonna find out Rupert Sanders banged her.
They were dating for 3 years. They split for good in 2027 or 2027. Wow.
Wow. They split 3 years in the
2017.
future.
2017, they apparently were engaged like 7 months into their relationship. But yeah, I thought that was what a small world. Just,
Man,
Rupert Sanders
that continues to mean that like
behind
Robert Pattinson has
picking
stuck
up
his dick.
fucking leftovers.
Robert Pattinson has stuck his dick in some high quality females over
Robert
the years.
Pattinson's a high quality male, and it's
Dude, yes, he is, and I would say that he's higher quality than that chick. So there's
He's
that.
higher quality than most of the chicks he's dated.
Yeah, they don't look.
That's
that
so
was
mean
that
to
was the
say.
other
God
thing
damn,
I was
that was
gonna bring up. Like I was looking at their press tour stuff, their photos from that, and they don't look like they belong. Like
They have no
don't-
chemistry. I heard.
They have no
Yeah.
like the photos look
Yeah.
like they're standing next
Mhm.
to each other, and it just looks awkward. Like the only time that it looks okay, there's some from the actual movie where they look like maybe,
Yeah.
but like all of their press stuff just looks awkward. And like he's trying so hard, and you can
Yeah.
tell, and she is
He's-
just like
He's a professional.
Yeah.
He gives it his all.
She's-
And honestly, she's not bad in the movie. She's really not. It's just poorly directed with a bad villain. I didn't care for the villain at all.
I heard the script was terrible too.
The script's not super fucking great, but
Yeah.
it's just so incredibly mediocre and
Dude.
just blah
When you see,
that it makes you wonder, what were they thinking when they went in to try to reimagine one of the most iconic films of the 90s for many reasons. Because first of all, it's a great movie. The
Yeah.
Crow is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful film.
Yeah.
And then you have obviously the legacy of Brandon Lee dying during filming, and them coming up like figuring out a way to revolutionize CGI at the time, because they weren't doing this shit yet.
yeah,
And then they CGI'd his face over like a stunt double, I believe.
Yep.
And to finish some of the shots that they needed.
Yep.
And that was like, hey, we gotta figure out a way to make this movie and finish it, And that was kind of thinking outside of the box at that time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like there's a legacy that the 1994 Crow film has left on pop culture and Hollywood and everything. And then they make a John Wick wannabe generic action movie with a few gothic elements, and shit it out to the fucking world. The problem is direction. They should have not given this to a guy that has made 2 fantastic dingleberries of fucking movies. All right, because why would they trust Rupert fucking Sanders, who hasn't not made a good film, to try to reinvent one of the most iconic films of the 90s?
Because the Snow White movie made money. I mean,
doesn't
that's really what
fucking matter.
I'm not saying it does matter.
Batman v Superman made money.
Yeah. I know that's why these guys get it's the people assigning these directors to make these movies aren't looking at anything besides
No.
bottom lines, and they're
And it's
going,
a shame.
This one ain't gonna make money because it had like a $50 million budget and it made $4 million this weekend.
Yeah,
This-
the Crow's box office is not.
it's not
super
existing.
fucking good.
Yeah.
Let's see. I actually the Crow box office. I type in the Crow box office in Google, and the Deadpool Wolverine box office comes up instead. That's fucking
Of course,
hilarious.
of course.
Let's see. The Crow and Blink Twice both bomb horrifically. Deadpool and Wolverine was the #1 movie over the weekend, and The Crow made $4.6 million in America.
That's so bad. That's
God
like worse than all those.
fucking awful.
It's like worse than all those horror movies we've talked about that like made no money like to open up. It's just like, and when you're talking about that and this movie, it's not been getting a lot. I mean, it's been getting like they've been playing the trailer and all that shit, and it's just I think between people old enough to remember the original and the generic looking look of the dude, it's not been a good year for Skarsgård. Like if Nosferatu doesn't clean up, he's gonna have been in 3 ginormous
Nosferatu's
flops.
gonna be fine.
Wait, what were the other flops?
Boy Kills World and
Oh, it just
this.
didn't do well at the box office.
No, it did.
Yeah, it did
didn't.
not. Yeah,
It
Boy Kills
flopped
World didn't make
real
money.
bad. Also,
But they didn't really like show it anywhere, right? Like it was
Yeah.
only in we
was-
talked about it. It was only in a handful of theaters or
Yeah,
something.
it wasn't a super wide release,
but yeah, it didn't make any money though.
still
So
did
it's
well.
basically it's like you have these films and you just go,
the saving grace for that is that it was reviewed well, because that's
Yeah.
a cool movie.
I mean, it is a cool movie. It doesn't fucking matter. It goes
You're
back
right.
to what the director. It doesn't fucking matter. It could. That's why there Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is coming out, because that movie was garbage but made $250 million.
I didn't
So like,
hate that movie though.
It's the same reason that the Blood and Honey 2 was made or is being made or whatever. It's because the
Yeah.
first one was flooded with people wanting to see it, even though it was just a joke. And
Yeah.
now people are like, "Oh, I'm very invested."
and then no one saw the second one, and
Yeah.
so it
Nah,
was
no
like,
one- yeah, nobody. Everybody was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
we know what that's about."
although I
We
heard
didn't-
the second one was
we
way
didn't
better than the
ask
first
for
one,
more, fellas.
Man.
Oh,
Okay. Then we'll dive in here in a second. What you guys been? I mean, the Crow talk was pretty interesting because that movie is just another like it's been a really weird movie year for movies. But have you guys been watching anything else or doing anything else with that?
I've been back to watching some Critical Role. So I'm back on like episode 50 or 65 of campaign 2 of the Mighty Nine.
Nice.
And yeah, I finished Delicious in Dungeon. And and I've been
What did
watching
you-
House.
You finished what?
Delicious in Dungeon. It's an
That
anime.
sounds like an Evan Stone porno. Am I close?
No, not really. It's about
Okay.
this like party of adventurers that go down into these dungeons where you can die and be brought back as long as like your body doesn't get completely destroyed as far as like
Okay.
consumed or whatever. But anyway, they go back in because the sister's been eaten and they need to get to her body before she's completely gone. But they don't have time or money to get like different provisions. So they're like, we'll just eat monsters on the way through. And the whole party, there's only like a few of them. And they're like, well, that's crazy. But then they meet a guy that cooks monsters. And it's all about like
Convenient.
how they use the like food and plants and wildlife in the dungeons to survive. It's really cute. It's really good.
Okay. Fuck yeah.
Nice. So can next like 4 months of podcast is going to be Critical Role for
Mhm,
Ken,
mhm,
and there's
mhm.
going to be more hoodies and more random because that's what happens when Ken gets into Critical Role.
Now I just want an Evan Stone dungeon crawler porn.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Dude, I've been listening to this book my tattoo artist got me on, and it's called Dungeon Crawler Charlie. And
Mhm.
it is amazing because it's like a B movie as a book, but like audio, like
Okay.
it's this guy. Basically, you take Hunger Games and mix it with Dungeons and Dragons, and then the alien like presence from like South Park. You know when the Earth is a reality TV show, and the aliens are like gonna cancel it because we figure out about it. But it's this guy who walks like his cat gets outside at like 2:00 in the morning, and he brings like he has to go outside and get her, and then like every building in the world gets scrunched, and it's like all the survivors get a chance to go into this dungeon, and it's like a reality TV show, and the cat he has with him is takes this like potion or biscuit that makes her smart, and so it's him and this intelligent Siamese cat going through.
It sounds hilarious.
And the guy reading it sounds like the guy from who plays what Krung or whatever from Emperor's New Groove. That it sounds like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Patrick Warburton?
Yeah, it sounds like Patrick. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm really enjoying it, and it was like $9 on Audible. I was like, this is awesome. So it was like my tattoo artist when I were listening to it while she was tattooing me.
Nice.
So, yeah.
The tattoo turned out really good.
Yeah, you can't see it as well in this light because I'm not at home. But like, yeah, I didn't even realize it can make it look like he's kind of like he's like head crawling. So yeah. Okay, we're gonna talk about 1986's. Was it 86?
Yeah, I think 84 came out in 86.
Okay, yeah. So the Toxic Avenger. Can you want to read a synopsis?
Tromaville has a monstrous new hero. The Toxic Avenger is born when meek mop boy Melvin falls into a vat of toxic waste. Now evildoers will have a lot to lose, with the tagline of, "He was 98 pounds of solid nerd until he became the Toxic Avenger, the first superhuman hero from New Jersey."
Yes.
Dude, this movie wastes no time going, you could never shoot this movie in 2024. And I wonder if it's
and yet it has been.
I mean, it was shot in what, like 2022 or whatever it was shot. But like, I hear it's not nearly as crude. I mean, you can't say the things they say in the film in 2024. You can't. I mean, if you do, you get canceled, right? Like it's stuff that's like, no.
Like almost every racial slur, almost every different word for, just it's a lot of language that we don't use anymore.
Yeah.
That and like even stuff like, oh, we're gonna run like. Is this what the movie that that I feel like this movie then might have been responsible for the you get points at running people over game? Is that where this came from?
I feel like it was around before that, but maybe I don't know. I wouldn't know. I wasn't alive in '84, but
yes, we know, Ken. You were born in 1990. You spring chicken. What was that, Ken? Ken turned into Elvis with a.
That was impressive.
I wonder why I can't get a date. Jesus Christ.
Wait, did we even say the name of the podcast yet?
But this is Murder Moose, and we are part of the Slash and Cast Podcast Network.
It's in the game.
It's in your ass. Yeah, it's in your ass. And I'm house sitting for Katie and Zeke, so I am not at home, which is why my lighting is a little weird. But here we are. Dude, I was watching this movie and I'm like, Ken talked about it making people uncomfortable, and I'm like, I can see it, man, because it's like all this stuff in this movie that is just like so like not. It's kind of like what Blazing Saddles is like, but just like like Blazing Saddles is so bad because it repeatedly uses the N-bomb, but like this movie is just like, I don't think it ever says the N-bomb, but it goes over.
No, it does.
Did it at one point?
Oh yeah, when they were going through all the different points and they were naming off the different races and.
Yeah. So it's like it does not fuck around. It doesn't like anything that would get you in trouble and you can't do anymore is in this film. I think that there's a lot about this that makes me laugh though, because it knows what it is. This movie is like barely 80 minutes long, and it couldn't have had a budget of more than like $5 because
$500,000.
Yeah, it's not an expensive movie.
There's two different numbers you were seeing between 425,000 and 500,000.
I mean, it was what do you call him? The guy from what's his fucking name? Lloyd
Kaufman.
Kaufman.
Yeah. from like Trauma Pictures, who just died. Like he died earlier this year, right?
Lloyd Kaufman is still alive.
Oh, who do I think it just died?
Mm,
Someone
not
for
Lloyd Kaufman.
another older director that kind of made these kind of movies just died. Then I guess I don't know. But this was like his whole thing, man. He just took like micro budget movies and just made kind of out of control crazy shit and like kind of built up a cult following, right? And that this is the 80s when you were like this is like you had the video store nasties and everything like that. So these movies had a chance because they went straight to the video, right? And then like made their money back there. But man,
Yeah, because they made oh shoot, where did it go? Oh gosh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I did, but I come back later.
I was to say we kind of talked about this last week with the with Alien and like how they had all the fucking toys for Alien and like how this movie kind of sits there and it turned into a cartoon show and like action figures and all this shit and I'm just like how is it like it makes so little sense to me in 2024 how like this became something for kids because it's
Weird,
like
isn't it?
well, I mean, it's just like so when I went and saw Alien Romulus at Alamo, they had like the commercials for the action figures for the Alien action figures, which I had a bunch of as a kid. And I'm just like, you think about it now, you're like, why are they targeting? Because they had RoboCop like action figures, they had RoboCop video games, like Toxic Avenger. I'm like, why are they targeting like kids for like things that are made exclusively for adults? But I guess like back then, like, yeah, it was just kids saw this shit. It was just like I mean, you guys remember how like back before like the whole Janet Jackson's boob popped out like thing, like a lot of our country was getting way like laxer with like rated R movies. Like I was going to R-rated movies before I was 17 without an ID all the time. And then the Janet Jackson titty popped out and they were like, "Rawr." And I don't know how bad it is now. Like I'm not 17 or nor do I have a 17-year-old. But like I'm wondering how easy it is for a 17-year-old to get an R-rated or like a 15-year-old or 16-year-old to get an R-rated movie without an adult these days. But I don't know. I mean, you have how many over $1 billion Deadpool and Wolverine has made, and there's got to have been a lot of 15-year-olds going to see that movie, right?
Oh yeah. Well, and if not, they're gonna see it on streaming services. Like, come on. It's not like no matter how much Texas thinks forcing people to put an ID on their Pornhub account is gonna stop people from watching porn, do you really think that kids are gonna actually answer correctly to their birth date requirement question?
Yeah. I mean it just makes me laugh because it's just this fucking world of like we know what's best for everyone and blah 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 and the fucking I don't know, man. It's just it makes me laugh because like it's all this bullshit. You talk about that, and I just saw that like the master of cringe himself, of free expression, Mr. Who was it? Like Ronnie Radke is suing a YouTuber over a review of him that calling him like where he talk shit about him, and I'm like. I like it. That's what makes me laugh. It's like all these people that are like so like want to control everything you do and say, and then don't like it when, or they're like freedom of expression, and then you like say something bad about them, and then they cry like bitches, and like
say his whole thing is like, oh, don't let them keep you down. But yeah, he was actually brought up today on stream. I don't remember why.
Because he's a garbage human being.
Yeah, the general consensus across the board, like there was someone in the chat and they were like, "Oh, I really like their music." And people were like, he was allegedly murdered someone and he allegedly sexually assaulted people and he allegedly doesn't even allegedly, he spews hate left and right, but
yeah. You go follow his Twitter account. All it is fucking trans hate and shit like that. So but like this movie is just like it's weird because it's such a product. Like this is like a time capsule of the 80s in such a very specific way because this is like what you said, recorded in 80 or shot in 84, it came out in 86. It is that thing where it is the time where before that this movie would never have happened because this movie wasn't gonna do anything in a movie theater. And then,
Right.
which we go back to the new one where they remade it and it's been sitting in a can for 2 years, just like this one. But
Mhm.
like, no one, what's so weird about that is like nobody wants to like purchase it and like put it on streaming, and there's just like, and then you just sell DVDs and you're like, you're gonna make your money back. It's not like this film costs that much fucking money to
I don't
make.
know
I
why
assume.
Shudder doesn't pick it up. Like, there's got to be some reason why
There's got
Shudder's
to be
not
some
getting it.
reason. Honestly, guys, it's probably just bad.
I
No,
mean,
no, everyone has reviewed
possibly.
it.
I don't know.
All the reviews are positive. Like
Both
of
of
the
them,
people.
great. That's cool. That's cool.
Both of the
Yeah,
reviews
both
are
of the reviews
great.
are good, guys. Come
No,
on.
they had
The
screeners.
trailer
There's
looks
not a,
like
I
bad.
promise you, there's not a laundry list of 100 fucking positive reviews for the new Toxic Avenger movie. Don't get me wrong. I think I want to see it,
Yeah.
and they should absolutely release it. It should absolutely come out because I don't ever want to see somebody's hard fucking work
Yeah.
go all for naught. Like I want the Batgirl movie to come out too, the one
Mhm.
that Brendan Fraser and Michael Keaton shot. But
Yeah.
it's probably not good.
It's
You know,
had
I mean,
463 reviews on IMDb, but how exactly are you going
there's
to,
no
know?
way.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Under featured reviews. Nope, there's only the one. It says that there's Nope, that's the ranking. Okay. There's one review and it gives it a 5.9 out of 10.
So I mean, it was
Nope,
like
there's 463 reviews. Sorry, I found it. I found it. There's 64
yeah.
ones. Two for 2-star was 14, 3-star was 11, 4-star was 14. So there's not a huge amount. 161 people gave it a 10-star.
So I mean, like I don't know. When I heard people talking about it, the guy who I saw talking about it was saying that the problem he was having with it was that it wasn't it wasn't this crazy, and I hadn't seen the original at the time, and so now I say like you couldn't make this movie in 2024. Like you couldn't. I mean, it would have to be something like Terrifier, where it was like independently funded and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And I think you could make a film like this now with like $1 million, kind of like Terrifier 2, but like I don't know.
I mean, it's been made and like it treats it like just the trailer itself. Like they definitely utilize and run with that concept hands down.
Yeah.
And the sheer thing is I just want to see Peter Dinklage
Mhm.
running around because in the trailer he's the Toxic Avenger. So
Yeah.
I want to see him as the Toxic
Mhm.
Avenger.
I love
So-
Dinklage, man. Like he's like not everything I've seen him in is great, but like he always puts in the effort and always seems to do like, his thing. And it's like
Mhm.
he was great in X-Men Days of Future Past, his little bastard senator. Like I mean, obviously Game
He's
of
got good
Thrones, he's
acting
awesome.
chops.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's got good acting chops.
Yeah. I how many people in this film it doesn't like I don't know about either one of you guys, but like I don't recognize a single person from this film. Like
The
Other
one
than Lloyd
the,
Kaufman.
yeah.
the guy that plays Slug, it took me forever to not think of him as one of those Corys from that time period. Not Corey
Oh yeah.
not
Feldman.
Corey, yeah. Like I kept because he looks like him. He looks
Yep.
like him frequently, and I kept checking, and I was like, maybe I looked wrong because he
No.
definitely looks like it. Nope, his name is Robert Picard.
Yeah.
Pichard.
He's got like 10 years on Corey Feldman, but
Yeah. And he's been in.
Marissa Tomei is in the director's cut.
Yeah, she shows her boobies. She walks out of the shower naked, and she's 18 at the time.
And there are a lot of boobies in this movie for 80 minutes also. Like there are a fair amount of boobies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's where did it go? I think they want to say that there were 27 kills. The dog shot, where they shot the dog, they had actually trained the dog for that. So the dog knew to like run and slide when it had spaghetti thrown on it or something. And it was one of the most hated.
Oh
Where
yeah.
did it go? It was it received the most complaints by Trauma up to that time. Yeah, despite the R rating, film spawned a Saturday morning cartoon called The Toxic Crusaders and a toy line based for children. There it is.
Yeah.
And some
There was
video games.
another one. Oh, in the scene where he kisses the sheep, that sheep was so infested with lice, and they did not know until after the shot.
Oh no.
So everyone did everyone else get lice? Were they? I don't know if sheep lice are compatible with humans, but
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about sheep.
I don't either. I don't know. I'm just
My
like
80
okay.
years traveling this planet, it's one of the few things that I've really, dove into and trying to
Is sheep fucking? What?
just learning about farm animals, you sick fucker.
Oh, this is cool. The woman that played Wanda and the guy that played Slug, so they were the couple. They got married.
Oh,
They ended up divorcing, but they
Aw.
got married.
Is that okay? Is that the dweeby actor from the beginning, or the guy who actually played? Oh no, you said Slug. Okay,
Slug.
Yeah,
I was thinking-
Slug, the
yeah.
guy that looks like the
Yeah.
Corey Feldman guy.
She's pretty, man. Like she looks like the only person in this whole film that looks like an actual Hollywood actor. Like the mayor, the bad guy, is like a fat piece of shit. Like it's just like so.
Oh, you know that
So
sandwich,
fat
the
piece of
sandwich
shit.
that he's like laying on that he's eating in the one scene?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The crew ate that after that shot. That was like their craft table.
These goofy fucking bastards. Yeah, these movies.
Hey, but
all
that's how
these-
they make money. That's how they make movies for $500,000, you know?
These all these trauma films are all fun to watch and super fucking ridiculous and obviously very tongue in cheek. And they're made by people that I would genuinely want to hang out with. It seems
Yeah.
like.
I mean, Lloyd Kaufman's like whole fucking directing career is kind of wild, right? It's like,
Yeah.
and he's still, dude, in 2024. Oh, that's actor. Let me see, like, where's his director? Like, how many? I don't think he's directed anything. Oh, wait, his last directing stuff was like in 20. Oh no, he's got stuff. God damn it, IMDb. Why are you so bad?
I just think you don't know how to navigate it, but it's okay.
I mean, also true, but shut up. Shut up.
He's
I don't
got
know. He's been in
all
Hollywood for a long time.
previous, directing credits. So the last thing he directed was Shakespeare's Shitstorm in 2020.
Shut up,
At
Poodle.
least that's as far as film anyway. He made a
Yeah.
music video for Lloyd K. I don't know who the fuck that is, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's done like what's it say for directors? He's directed
58.
58 things.
Yeah, 58 directing credits.
Man,
Some of
And-
those are probably shorts and things like that. But
I mean, it's not like trauma was ever like trauma is like a thing that like you take a normal, and I say normal, like you take a normal person who only goes to the movies for like Marvel movies or something like that, or Fast and Furious, and ask them about trauma, would have no fucking clue. I would assume.
not
I would-
not a tiny
Yeah,
little
no.
clue.
No.
Yeah. And so it's like that's why these movies are made the way they are. They're made to like cheap so that they don't need to make very much. And
Mhm.
I mean the Brian brought it up, the dog scene was like I'm like I hate when films do that, and it's like it's just it always feels like such a cheap pop of like trying to get the audience upset. And they made this one's real, like shooting a dog with a shotgun and then showing the dog like with the spaghetti on him, like Tim
While
talked about.
raping the woman.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Like, okay, so it was funny though because these kills, there's something about the kills and about the violence in this that actually did make me uncomfortable, even though like whatever, normally it doesn't affect me whatsoever, but there was something about them that it was just like, oh, I forgot how intense it is to watch someone make a milkshake out of someone's head or like
Yeah,
dude.
pulling
Yeah.
someone under the weights at the gym, which is always a fear anyway because I'm always like, oh god, what if they fall on me or whatever.
Mhm.
So like it all just yeah, but I mean at the same time I'm not like a prude when it comes to that, and there's a lot of great kills in this, but
Yeah.
apparently in the Japanese cut it shows that the two girls were not ever actually killed by him, that the one her butt was burnt and the other when he holds up the scissors is just to cut all of her hair off. But it kind of goes against this whole principle of like he kills all the bad people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the little woman that he kills in the laundromat was so random.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like missed something as to where like she was, but
No,
like
it very much feels like it was a scene that they shot and
mhm,
didn't like they wanted to keep it right around 80 minutes and they cut stuff that was like I don't know. What do you guys think every time I saw the toxic sludge, I thought of like pop rocks for some reason
mhm.
and I don't know why, but like I was like, what is this shit? It looked like it was probably sugary and tasted good, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, because we had that candy growing up. It was like toxic candy and it looked
Yeah.
just like that.
Yeah. I mean, again, this movie, it's just wild that all the shit that came out from the kids, like, that stuff doesn't really happen. I mean, we all know that, like, I don't know if you guys know, but I mean, like, Saturday morning cartoons kind of got in trouble because of, like, being basically 20-minute like, or half an hour episodes of commercials for toy products, right? And they got in
Mhm.
trouble, and that's why Saturday morning cartoons don't really exist in the form that they used to.
Nah, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Do you
And
know
so,
which toy company was the first company to push outside of just Christmas time for toy commercials?
no.
I'm gonna guess
Mattel.
Hasbro. Mattel?
Yep, for Barbie and Hot Wheels, and there was another one that they were pushing at the time.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me because it's very much like it's when cartoons are just 22-minute commercials. Yeah, it's like this is all you're gonna get, right? And so, I mean, that's why like X-Men, like the cartoon that turned into X-Men '97, like it was on, and then like it had to change format because then it went to like afternoons because they basically weren't allowed to do Saturday morning cartoons anymore because it was just like over glorified commercials, right? So like, yeah, I don't know. It's just all this weird, man. It's like the 80s were a wild time, and it was like obviously all the excess of the 80s. I mean, all the cocaine in this movie and like the
Sorry.
what was that, Brian?
Nothing.
He just
That was not me getting excited when you said the word cocaine.
I mean, cocaine, one hell of a drug.
Yeah, we don't encourage the use of cocaine here on the Bird Blues podcast.
Dude, I always feel like cocaine would do nothing to me when you have super ADHD. It was like, oh, okay. I just snorted $200 worth of nothingness. And then you go, hello, darkness, my old friend. You know what's funny is the movie of this movie's like pacing and everything like that. Like it felt like they held back with. I mean, the movie does hold back a while of showing what Toxie looks like, his face,
Yeah.
and because it's for a long time they're just shooting him from the back, and I just laugh because like they have all those like bladder effects where like he's like after he initially gets like turned and is turning, and then like you just show the giant guy who turns into his playing him, and you just see the back of his arms where it looks like he just splattered paint on him a little bit, and it's
Mhm.
not like anything. And I wonder
Yeah,
if
and
that was
then
also
like by the end, he's like clean. He doesn't look that distorted and fucked
yeah.
up. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. Sorry.
Dude. No, you're good. The dubbing in this movie is also so bad. The
So
dubbing
bad.
it's
And so wonderful.
bad. I mean, it's entertaining bad, but like it is so bad. It's just sitting there going, it doesn't even try. Like you could tell that they aren't like the voices aren't in the same kind of room. Like they're in a recording studio or whatever, and you're like you would have these weird noises of like like the lines should be outside, and it does. Also this movie does something that I love, and I always joke about where he uses people's testicles like a speed bag, like a boxer, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
The amount of testicle punching in this movie is phenomenal. Like whether
It's
it's
good stuff.
getting hit with the mop uh handle, whether it's getting hit with a champagne cork, using them as speed bags, like I want to know how like the percentage of this movie that was screaming versus actual dialogue because again, the copy that I saw cuz I watched it on Plex, the sound was so painful and it was so distorted that every time anybody screamed, it was like it hurt. And I've seen it before, and I know that that's not usually how it is.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck? But it made me realize just how much screaming was in it. And I was like, I need to know. I need to know the percentage.
It doesn't feel like much of this film's like has had much of what you would call a script. Like, I mean, it was there, but like every scene just seems like, okay, talk about this now with the Toxic Avenger, and it's like, I don't know. I think that like the scenes of him like becoming the hero, the hero of the town is like when he's like, I was it just me or did he take the two same kids out of the street twice?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
At that point, just let those fuckers die.
I
Like,
know.
why are they still
I'm like, that's called
stop?
Darwinism, boys. You like
Yeah.
you gave them a second chance. Like they don't need to be in the DNA pool. They just don't. They don't
Yeah.
need to be in the DNA pool. Nope. No DNA pool for them. Um the mop thing was like weird because it also how did this thing make like the toxic slime make him more intelligent, which I don't understand. Like cuz he was a little I don't slow, is that the way to say it? Like I don't know what's the correct way to say it in 2024.
Yeah, slow. We'll go with slow.
Slow, I guess. Yeah. And you sit there and go, and then he's like the Toxic Avenger, and he seems like he has like one. He seems to know when things are going to happen because he always shows up mysteriously. I will say I think I really laughed at the even though it's probably pretty horrible. Where the cigar head dude is like in his two partners in crime are getting in trouble and try to kill that cop, and you're just like, oh no! I think that was the scene where they probably use most of the expletives for the world, for the that and the burger joint thing, dude. That fucking scene where he puts the fucking dude's hands in the fryer, which by the way didn't look anything like it was actually happening, and it just
Yeah.
is one of the most, if you think about it, one of the most like he killed a dude with shock. He like because that wouldn't kill you, like, but like it was killed him with shock. And he was just like.
My whole thing with it was for whatever reason, and I know the show that I first saw it happen was with somebody getting sexually assaulted with a broomstick, and
Yeah.
all I could think of was, "It's gonna happen. Why do I feel like it's from this movie? Why do I feel like I saw it in this movie?" And it didn't, and I was like, "Thank goodness," because that one fucked with me really bad when I saw
Yeah.
that. So I was, like, really concerned, but
I it's funny because then they had the weird shot where they kills the mayor at the end where he just punches him in the stomach and then like pulls out like a calf liver or whatever the fuck it is. It is the whole like you could really tell like the budget of it. Like I thought all I could think of in that last scene where they have him surrounded in that tent with his girlfriend, and it's like, guys, no, you can't shoot. You're out of budget, so you just have to like sing about how we're gonna be support him because he's the hero of the town, and you're just like, okay. Well, Ken, you talked about the old lady. It's so weirdly awkward because they had to explain it in the film, like right after, where they're like, "Oh, he killed a harmless old lady," and they're like, "No, she's got a rap sheet like this
yeah.
long," and then blah blah blah, and you're just like, then why? Because what you were talking about, the two women he should have killed, the one where he cooked her roast beef, and then the other one, like the two horrible chicks, and
Mhm.
you don't show him killing either one of them. And you said in the Japanese version he doesn't even kill him.
Yeah, they're at the police station or like the unedited, but at first it said Japanese station, but I guess at the unedited version it shows them as well or director's cut or something. There's a
Yeah.
version where they're alive.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the two that are like talking about how horny they get when they look at the pictures of run over children's heads. Like it's
Yeah.
like they're like the two that deserve to die more than anyone else in that movie besides the boyfriends, and it's just like, man, it's
They
like
do a they do a great job of making it incredibly uncomfortable, incredibly cringy.
yeah,
Um and yeah, like I watched it with the boyfriend who's a little bit younger, who is not into any of this, like
yeah,
does not like horror, does not like gore, does not like any of it. and you could tell he was struggling with it, and it probably not the best movie to throw him into from the
Yeah.
podcast, to be honest. But he made the comment. He was like, "Yeah, this is very 70s." I was like, "Very 80s," but yeah,
I mean, dude, I was sitting there going, it made me squirm a little bit. Even like
Yeah.
it's just because of what we expect out of society into 2024 and what is acceptable, right? It's like what this movie pushes boundaries, and it pushed. I mean, the 80s obviously was kind of when all this stuff was coming out, and they pushed it over limits, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, like, what? Okay, what was this? It was rated R, but like I was trying to figure out if like, how did this even get an R rating? It seems like it would have been like they didn't push them to cut more. Like
I would
It's-
assume it was just the time, like the particular
Yeah.
time and whatever. I think, and for the record, I still like this movie a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, I'm such a prude, blah, blah, blah. It's just, it's interesting, like the reaction that I had to it this time watching it compared to the last time. And I don't know if that's just because of how society's changed. I don't know if it was because I was watching it with someone who isn't really into it. Like,
It's got to be a little bit of both. 'Cause it's got
I
to be
think so.
How long had it been since you've seen this?
Oh God, probably like
Okay, you said, "Oh God," that's all that
years.
matters, really.
Yeah, like
So
8,
think
9
about it.
years.
A, you've matured.
Yeah,
B,
unfortunately.
times have changed. Unfortunately, yeah, all right. Times have changed. Just and if you're growing up and evolving and becoming a better person, like you clearly are, and Rod, you're on your way. But we start to really kind of look at things differently, just because we're more open-minded and we're trying to be more considerate.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
definitely a product of the time. It's not a movie that's aged well. It's not a movie that's not aged well at all.
Yep.
But now when I watched it, I just it took me back to when I was a dumb fucking 10-year-old kid sneaking this into my fucking bedroom, because I was pretty lucky. I had a VCR pretty early in life, because my mom and dad just didn't want to have shit to do with me, so they gave me a TV and a VCR and just told me to fucking go away and watch movies. So I was able to sneak movies pretty young, and I remember watching this. I was pretty fucking young. What made me want to watch the movie was the cartoon.
Yeah.
So I saw the cartoon first, but I knew what it was based on because the million times I had seen this fucking VHS box
Yeah.
in the movies.
It's pretty iconic. VHS.
Yeah.
like,
I'm looking. I
cover.
was just like, "What the fuck is this? And why do I need this in my life?" I had no
Yeah.
idea. But yeah, it's that's what made me want to watch the movie. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's I was pretty young. I can't remember how old I was when I first saw this. I was older than 10 for sure, but I was pretty young. Golly.
Dude, there are just some scenes in this that are just like pretty fucking hardcore, and like it's also weird writing. Like I still don't get the scene where he's like driving in the car with that dude and like just like fucking with him, but like not like almost killing a bunch of innocent people at the same time.
Yeah. I was 14 when the cartoon came out, so I was 14 when I watched this.
Yeah, I mean that sounds about right for an age of like when it would like be like the coolest thing in the world for. A
Oh
14-year-old.
yeah,
It's fucking
absolutely.
awesome. Yeah. That
Yeah,
was
like
hilarious.
there, and again, like I still think it's great. I absolutely would have watched. Well, no, I was a little bit of a prude then. I probably would have watched it when I was a little bit older, but
What, 15?
like 18.
So are you prude?
Kim didn't want Jesus to look bad down on her.
Yeah,
Ken was like talking about her teeth, her
But Jesus can't
vagina,
see through lead, so
dentata. Yeah, there you go.
Jesus can't see through lead, so
And Jesus, you remember, if you do anal, Jesus doesn't know.
yeah, Jesus
Yep.
he has no idea.
he looks away.
Well, he doesn't check there.
No,
He doesn't. That's an exit only. Nobody would ever fucking there.
Jesus doesn't go ass to mouth.
As
Dude.
you should never.
Stop it. Pre.
No, what Rosario Dawson taught us is that sometimes it's okay to go ass to mouth, kid.
No.
Sometimes it's okay.
Would
Dude, you know
Toxie
what I
go
was-
ass to mouth?
Oh yeah.
dude,
100%.
He would not. He would not. I
No?
Toxie's he's a gentleman. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm,
What?
With his lady, at least.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like he takes
just-
care of her, and he's like,
Flabbergasted that you don't think it's that a gentleman can't go ass to mouth.
I mean,
Like,
Well, to be fair,
that's just
I
hooligan.
guess.
That's
No,
just
no. I
hooligan
think a
moves
gentleman
right
could
there.
go. I think a gentleman could.
The
but-
gentleman does.
I mean, I don't know. My
Ah,
dong's too
whatever.
big, and so I don't do a lot of anal sex. So I don't know if it's the correct spot of things. But here we go. Kin's face. It's the one who calls me Rod the Cod constantly. And we're
No, it was just a funny moment.
oh man. You know what is funny about the poster that makes me laugh though? Like he's got the pink tutu on, it was pink before he jumped into the acid, and it was black as shit the rest of the movie. Like
Yeah.
you could barely tell he has a tutu on the rest of the movie, but he does have a tutu on.
But I like that. I personally really like that. I think it's really cute.
Yeah.
It's a nice little nod to like what happened, and I like the way that it looks. Like, it's very cute.
I think it's like when they start actually showing him, it kind of takes it away a little bit. I think when they
Mhm,
have it as
I
like they're
agree.
just his back, and kind of like in A Violent Nature, right? Like where you only
Mhm.
see the back of his head for most of the movie, and then like so the one shot he does, it has that power on you, but like this movie's just kind of like, well, I mean, and we're obviously watching it in 4K high definition, and so like it wasn't meant to be seen with like that high of definition to see what Toxie looked like, right?
Mhm.
I do think that this movie it's just such a time capsule, like I was saying, of like what the 80s were, and like I said, you can't do this in 2024 in this way. I mean, they remade it, but they didn't remake it to this extent because you can't get away with that in 2024 or 2022 when they did it. But like I really do want to see this, and after like we got Maxine with Kevin Bacon in that, and then like now that he's the bad guy, is he like the mayor in that? It looks like I think I don't know.
I
so.
think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's the villain in that. Yes.
And then Elijah Wood is the villain. He looks like this like the Batman Returns Penguin, but like
I
who
just
was
love
on
Elijah
meth.
Wood.
He
because-
looks like what's his face from Rocky Horror Picture Show? The
Yeah.
like the little guy that's like
Riff Raff.
Yeah, he looks kind of like Riff Raff.
Oh, like Richard
Um,
O'Brien's character. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And they've
Yeah.
got there's a lot of references back to Rocky Horror Picture Show in the movie as well.
Oh, okay.
So
And it's how much? Do you know how? Is it recorded how much movie?
How much movie this money made?
Yeah, exactly. That was
Um,
what I was going to ask
I
you.
want to say I saw like 14 million, but I'm not positive.
I mean-
it made $140,000 its opening weekend.
Yeah,
I don't see anything,
I saw
Okay.
something.
but there's been several sequels. So
That's why they were able to do so many was the sequels, or
How many
because
sequels
it made
were
so
there?
much. 4. Hold on. 7. Wait.
I think there's 4 Toxic Avenger movies.
Yeah, I think so.
I think the last one was made in 2000, I believe, and it was Citizen Toxie.
2000. Let's see. Yeah, Citizen Toxie was 4. Yeah, and then Class of
This
Nukem High is from the same like realm.
Yeah, they all take place
basically.
in the same, I think, the same universe.
Yeah.
Was Toxie was the guy who played Toxie a stunt actor?
Yeah, Mitch Cohen. Really hadn't done it. He played the Toxie in just this one and the 4th one. He only played him twice.
He was
What?
in Chiller Cinema as Toxie. He was in Citizen Toxie as Lucifer. He was in 9 Under 7.
Oh, he didn't play Toxie in part 4?
No.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he only played Toxie in the first one.
Yeah, just the first one. Huh?
Yeah.
I wonder how long that. I mean, like that probably had to do with what they like. Why you don't see him for the like. I wonder if like when he was like wandering around and they were only showing his back, like they didn't have that face makeup on.
James Gunn
That's
was in
possible.
Toxic Avenger 4.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
'cause he-
cool.
Yeah, because he started with Trauma. Like that was
I
his.
think he wrote one of these movies.
James
Maybe not.
Gunn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's
he may not have, but yeah, he definitely worked with Trauma
yeah.
Entertainment.
He has like his mentor
before he got his start.
was Larry Lloyd Kaufman, right? So
Yeah.
like
Corey
Yeah.
Feldman played in part 4 as well.
Ah,
Eli Roth played in
see.
part 4.
I wonder if they put Corey Feldman in it because of the guy from the first one. Like
Hold on. I want to see what he. Well, he wouldn't play the same guy because that dude was killed. But I was gonna say maybe he plays the same guy, but that would be
He
some.
played Kinky Finkelstein, Sarah's gynecologist in part 4.
I mean,
Oh, and it
I
wouldn't
like
be the same girl that played Sarah because she didn't do anything else other than make music for a little bit after Toxic Avenger.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember reading that. Yeah.
dude, it's still like I think one of the things that I will never stop like it's hard to watch is like rape in film. And, like,
Yeah,
this
there's
movie-
something about it like that. Just
It's unsettling.
Yeah,
It's such because it's such a violation.
I
yeah.
think it's that, and I think it's the way that it's done. Like, there's been some stuff that, like, yeah, it makes me uncomfortable, but I'm like, whatever. But there's something about the way that it was so
Yeah.
blatant that
Yeah.
it was like, how far is this gonna go?
Well, it's like
Yeah.
I think of like the girl with the dragon tattoo, where the book is like it's such a fucking scene, and it's not good in the movie either. But in the book, it's so
It's
fucking
fucking
like
gross in the movie.
yeah,
I didn't read
yeah.
the book, but so
yeah.
I
mean,
haven't
it's-
done either yet, but
I read the books and the like. I listened to all the books.
I heard they're
and
so
everything.
good.
Yeah,
I
they're
heard
good
really
books.
good.
Yeah, but like, man, it's just such a thing where you're just like, ugh, and it just makes you feel gross, and it's just like one of those things. I mean, that's why things like The Last House on the Left are so powerful, right? They have that thing where you're
those
just like,
scenes are heavy,
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
especially the original.
I don't
those
think I've
are
ever. I've only
heavy.
seen the remake of The Last House on the Left. but,
Oh,
like,
you
We
should
should watch
the
Last House on
original.
the Left for next episode.
Yeah, we should
then.
do that. Absolutely.
should do the
that's a lot
original.
of ancient like rapey things, but like I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know.
well then we can watch Cobra.
Fine, we can watch The Last House on the Left. You know what? Another thing
He
about this
doesn't
that
want to
ma-
watch Cobra so
No,
bad.
I don't want to watch Cobra on a
that-
horror podcast.
It's a horror movie.
It's horrible, not a horror movie.
It's a horror movie. It's a movie about slashers.
Are they slashing tires?
No, they're slashing people.
I
a la
can't even
Michael
get
Myers.
people to admit Terminator is a slasher, and now you're trying to convince me that Cobra's
Let's
a
watch
slasher.
Terminator then.
What are we watching?
I think we're watching Last House on the Left.
I think we're watching the original Last House on the Left,
From what, 1974?
Yeah, not to be confused with
1970. Oh,
First House on the Right. or something
72.
like
72.
that.
Man.
Yeah, it's old. It's old.
I mean, that was Wes Craven's first film, right? So
I think I think he shot a porno before that actually, but yeah, it's got very young Martin Cove. So Johnny Lawrence's Cobra Kai instructor plays in the original Last House on the Left, and he
It
did
doesn't-
not. Well, we'll talk about it then. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
doesn't show.
I
anything
actually I
before
met him,
his.
so I got to have a conversation with him about that movie.
Wait, with
He
who?
was with Martin Cove,
Oh,
the guy that taught Johnny Lawrence to sweep the leg.
sweet
and,
the leg, Johnny.
Yeah. So yeah, we talked about that movie, and
Nice.
yeah, I'll tell you guys next week.
Okay,
what he had
cool.
to say.
cool. Well, yes, we'll do The Last House on the Left next week then. I've never seen the original, so yeah, it's I'm getting
That's
all these
awesome.
older movies off my thing that I've never seen. So
Good.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good
times.
one. It'll fuck with you.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that. The remake fucked with me, man. And the remake is even like the
I
remake. I know that.
actually-
I know in the original the daughter doesn't survive, right? But in the remake she does, right? If I recall. But
I'm half tempted to say let's watch both of them.
We can talk about both of them.
Yeah, let's
maybe
do both.
if
Yeah.
I could see them both. Let's see.
Yeah,
Figure it
we'll
out.
see.
Okay.
We'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
just take time out of your Tinder adventures and watch a couple movies, man. You got a week. You got a week
Brian,
to do it.
I'll send you the text message I sent Ken earlier today, and you tell me that it's not that
The pure rage and aggression I felt towards this individual
Oh,
after
no
reading
shit?
that. Oh my god.
yeah,
I
you
was
gotta
like,
send me that.
seriously?
So I went out with
You need to
this chick
spill
on
this tea, Rod.
I went out with this chick on Sunday. She responded to me. I text and I gave her my phone number. She sends me a text message on Monday saying how much she can't wait to see me again, and then stops responding on like after Thursday. And then this morning sends me a text message explaining, and it's the most infuriating thing in the world. So yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Basically, Rod did nothing wrong, and yeah. So you'll just have to check out the message. It's
Yep.
incredible.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Sounds good. Yeah, send me that, please.
Okay, guys, go to murdermist.com and do all these things.
Do all
gear.
the things.
Yeah,
Don't
order a
forget.
t-shirt.
Yeah, and I'll be I'm hijacking the Twitter.
Yes,
Oh,
I
okay,
gave
cool,
Brian
cool,
the
cool.
stuff
Yeah, I'm
because I've been
hijacking
real
Twitter.
bad at it since Josh
Hell
left. Because
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to tweet a little more
So-
often. You know, we'll do some fun stuff on.
if you see
Twitter.
wieners on the Murder Moose podcast Twitter,
will
it's
never
Brian's.
call it X. And yes, there will be dicks, many dicks.
Well, now I
So
just wanna
follow
send you
Murder
a
Moose
bunch of
Pod on
pictures
Twitter,
of
and that the Brian will
people
be
I'm
in
just gonna
that.
draw dicks all day, like fucking Jonah
Like
Hill's
Jonah Hill?
character did in
Yeah.
Superbad.
Super
Put 'em in
bad
your
Brian
lunchbox.
will-
Thing, like,
Okay.
like a dick, like a man dick.
You could
That's
go
one of
watch
my
me
favorite
on
lines in
Twitter
cinematic
and
history.
Twitch at Roger_Johnston as I hang out at Katie and Zeke's house, and yeah, so do that. Brian,
What
where's
are
your
you guys
shit?
doing?
You can find me on. You can find me at Murder Moose's Twitter now, and you can find me at We're Gonna Make You Watch podcast, where me and my good friend, force another one of my very, very good friends to watch all the horror movies that he tried to avoid his entire life. The last movie we made him watch was Sinister, and he
Yes.
quit. So we're now taking applications for. No, I'm
He
just kidding. He didn't
quit?
quit.
Oh, I was like, oh my
He
god.
kept saying, and I quote, "Y'all feel that in your back?" He's like, "I'm feeling something in my back."
That's amazing.
But now
Can't-
that'll be the next episode. But then we're getting ready to watch House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh yeah, that's
Nice.
right.
Really excited about. Yeah, I thought I told you guys that last week.
Yeah.
We're gonna
You
record
see-
that, I think
You
tomorrow.
see white eyeballs of the trick.
What did you say?
The void. This is why he's known as the void.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I was very concerned.
Yeah, I was like, what is happening? Did you have a stroke?
No, it's the void.
My name is Continue.
Yeah, we did.
I stream every day on Twitch except for Saturday. I'm just playing stuff now. I'm not on any particular path. I'm playing Go Town right now. Who knows what we'll be playing by the time this episode comes out? So
That game seems like Animal Crossing, like on speed.
yeah, it is, and it feels like Animal Crossing, but rushed. Like it feels
Yeah.
like it's got a rushed pace, and it feels like Animal Crossing. And there's still so much to see, and it's early access, and I've lost like 20 hours into that game easy. So definitely recommend it. I didn't really like the Mika game that was supposed to be like Kiki's delivery service. It was okay.
Yeah.
It just needs some work, but
Yeah, Ken's been playing a lot of games a lot of cozy things, which I don't like cozy games. I could watch Ken play them, but like I'm not a cozy game person. But yeah,
I float around. Sometimes I'm in cozy land, sometimes I'm in horror land, sometimes
Yeah.
I'm in strategy land, and then I just get hyper focused on that one particular thing.
Right.
And then
Why haven't we gamed together yet?
I don't know.
Brian and I
Weird.
used to game and play a Hunt back years ago.
Yeah, we played
Showdown?
Hunt. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that game. I'm terrible at it, but I do love it.
I haven't played that in years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been about
I'm
shit. I
being-
think the last time I played was probably with Rod.
Being
long
taken
time.
over by a poodle.
That's okay though. Love the fuck out of that dog.
Yeah.
He's a cool
It's a
dude.
cutie patootie.
He's got a soul patch.
I love it. Yeah, I see it.
His
That's
little
so
soul patch.
it's a boy. You said.
Yeah, this is Trick. So
Trick? Oh.
Katie and Zeke met doing this tabletop, or they fell for each other doing this tabletop RPG, and Zeke's character was named Trick, and then
Okay. So
Katie's
yeah,
character was named Lilith, and Lilith is the other one. So they're
Lilith?
named after. Yeah.
I love the name Lilith
So,
I do
yeah.
too.
so much.
Okay, guys. We will catch you then next week for The Last House on the Left. I can't promise I'm going to watch 2 of them, but we'll see what's up.
I'm watching
And-
both. You watching
I think
both,
I'll watch
Ken?
both. Yeah, I'll probably watch both.
Ken's watching
Okay.
both. Rod's watching both.
Yeah.
Okay,
yep.
guys.
Yep. Yep.
Man,
We will see you next
fucking
week.
nut up.
I'm gonna nut up in your eye, bitch. Okay, love you
Please.
guys. I will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.